Hello, everyone. In anticipation for Helldivers 2, we're actually going to go do a deep dive on the Galactic War trailer just to see what we can pick up, features, things we can do in the game, all the details, just comb through it a little bit. When I'm excited about a game, I just like to dissect, honestly. I know some people know what I'm talking about. If you don't, it's all good. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Let's start it up. So right here, you can see a good amount of enemy variety. You have 1, 2, 3, 4. He might be the same as him. I'm counting as 5, and that's 6. He has the turns. They don't. Which I guess is okay. It's a good amount. I think they need more. If they've only showcased 2 factions right now, so if they don't have more factions, I think the enemy variety and what you're competing against has to be pretty substantial just for player retention alone. You see the blue plant over here. This is probably one of the many things you can sample or gather to help your research efforts. So a good bit in this clip alone. How reinforcements are called, it seems like. I saw in one of the clips, one of the old trailers, that you could blow this down. So I wonder if you can actually do that live, or was that like a certain situation that ended up happening?
They seem to be called the automatons. They work as full robots. It might not be a bad idea to put them in their place too. You're going to be playing.
This is one I'm super curious about. I wonder if this is only going to be in the tutorial, but the no capes, like Edna mode, no capes. Because I kind of like the look of just the armor by itself. So I hope that they give the player the option that if they want to wear a cape, if they don't, it's up to you. Or is this going to be something that's only happening in a tutorial? And post-tutorial, you know you're going to be rocking the cape, homie. This is small, but I really like it when you can see your actual sidearms and stuff and like gear on the character. I think it's very immersive that you can see him actually pick up the gun from the slot and then use it. I think that's super cool. Good. Why was that sniper in the front lines? We can see that thing on his back right here. That, in fact, ended up being a drone. So that's cool. It has a little machine gun, seems like. This is the same area we saw in that first shot. But this seems like it might be a wave-based objective, maybe. Like defend this stronghold for X amount of time. Always fun. Pretty standard in video games nowadays. So that could be one of the mini objectives. Has a turret mounted, all that stuff. I wonder how these work. Are they ammo related? You won't know. So right here in this clip, I actually just heard something that I didn't catch. He mentioned super Earth planets, so I'm curious if that is a different planet that you're gonna have different objectives on. So if they add a PvP mode, is that only occurring on super Earth planets where they might be using it as a training base that you can go against other Helldivers, and you unlock those maps as a community after you liberate a certain planet? I don't know. It's just a curious thought. Let me know what you guys think.
What planets are super Earth planets? What planets are being covered by some sort of enemies?
I'm curious on the leveling system and what does it pertain to. Like, most games will have it that you can't unlock certain. Excuse me. Most games will have it where you can't unlock certain things until you reach a certain level. I wonder if that's going to be a case. You have a pretty good deficit. Highest 22, lowest 14. I wonder if that's going to dictate who you can play with and what missions they can do. I highly doubt that, since this is such a cooperative game. They wouldn't want to split you up like that. But also down here, you can see where you can switch to difficulties, and you also can see the samples available on that planet that you're going to. I'm curious if these are going to be linked, the difficulties, to the samples. Like if you go up to the medium or challenging difficulty, the next one up, are you going to unlock the orange one that can now be found on that planet? And same for the last one. Or is that just going to be something you look for when you go to certain planets?
At the same time, the Galactic War.
Oh, this is a great little feature that you can toss back enemy grenades. I'm hoping that you can do that with your teammate grenades as well, with friendly fire always being on and how easily you can kill each other. I hope that if your teammate messes up a throw and it's right near you, you're able to then volley that up and further away from you to the enemies. Hopefully that's the case. If not, maybe something they'll add in the future. But I think those little details make the game much more immersive and gives you options to mitigate, stressful situations that you might not have foreseen coming.
They are broken out into 2 types of orders: major orders and personal orders.
I'm curious on how that, on my first reaction video, I kind of broke that down as main quest, side quest, which isn't correct. It's actually, I think it's similar to For Honor. If you guys ever play that game, they have 3 factions. And so if you pick the faction, like the Samurai faction, everyone in that faction, the whole community in that faction, are fighting for a common goal. And I think it's working more like that. Something the whole community fights to achieve. But I'm also curious on how that is gonna be broken down. What dictates that? Is it gonna be a season related thing? Are we gonna have a battle pass if it is seasonal? Or is it just random major orders getting distributed and then you are going to try to complete them? I'm very curious on that matter.
These are things that are central.
So you have multiple orders. I'm guessing these are personal orders because these two have different timestamps. This one has 23 hours, and this one has this next one right here has 3 hours left. So I wonder if these are the ones that you will get up with the squad, and you're just like, okay, let's go tackle these kind of like daily objectives that you can come in and do. Kind of incentivize the player to come back to the game every day, which are cool. I'm also curious if the personal orders like this are they going to have major orders where they have multiple major orders going at the same time, or are they going to be a weekly thing, or what? We'll see how they handle that. This is an interesting one because this is another major order. You have 1 day left, 1 day and 14 hours, but the reward is different. And I'm curious on what this indicates. Is this a more of a premium currency, skill points, or what? The other one seemed like more standard currency, which you see in video games. But usually, if you see a higher number and a lesser number. The lesser number is usually a premium, and the 10,000 R is generally the currency you can add in game. So I'm curious if this is gonna be something you buy. I hope it's not. It doesn't seem like they will do that, but I'm not sure. I haven't seen this emblem. If it's in the previous game, again in the comments, let me know what it is.
And if you do it exactly in that way, you'll get a reward.
I think that's a really cool way to do things because I think it makes you it makes you try out a variety of different weapons, as well as it can make a fight that you were like, oh, this is kind of easy, and make it a lot more challenging. For this one, I'm guessing you have to take down this big guy with a flamethrower. Could be another one where you take out a bile tiding with a pistol. Who knows? But I think that's a good way to mix up the gameplay and really make you expand your way of thinking and how to approach situations that you otherwise would just kind of stick to your meta things you're comfortable with and just mow through.
Gun that you can load up and then you can...
I think those secondary objectives are super cool. It just gives it the whole game more replayability. Also like that it's not just a simple pickup, you have the thing in your inventory and you just run over and deliver it. I like here how you're actually having to hold the projectile because now you're vulnerable, and secondly, now you have to depend on your teammate, which gives it that more intimate combat experience. And I think that's a super smart way to do it. This is another of those co-op guns where he's holding the ammo, this guy is shooting. I wonder, can I use this gun if I'm by myself? Like, how would I approach this situation if you're on a solo run? Is this gun accessible to me, or do I have to find out another way to now traverse through the fog to then complete the objective I have? They do say they support solo play. So with that being said, I'm assuming that there are ways to deal with this. But until we know more information, who knows?
It can be upgraded in the ship management.
You gotta slow it down. Don't try to skip over that now. So here we see this other, so we have 3 types of currency. This is the one that you can earn from a major event. Looks like these are, you can also earn this from a major event. Not sure what the blue one is. This is the one, once again, it's one of those things where it's like, my subconscious is like, oh, this means it's a premium. You have in-game currency you can buy. I'm not sure. Could be. Here you can see the standard price. The price is going to be samples that you earn from planets. But we'll see. I'm really curious about these currencies up here, man.
To extract to get your samples with you to your ship.
I'm curious. They say you need to extract. So I'm curious if you get a sample and you die with that Helldiver, when someone calls in reinforcements and it's you, do you still have that sample? Is that only on that body? You have to now go retrieve it. I kind of hope it's the later. I think it adds a little more weight to them as well as challenge. But well, no, because that keyword extraction seems like it played a part. Them saying extract, so that means you have to be on it with that Helldiver to then actually obtain that sample. And this is kind of more of a hardcore cooperative one, so I'm wondering. Also curious if your friend, like if you die, your friend gets pick up your samples that you dropped. Is he able to trade that with you, or are there any sharing, or it's like, no, you lost out on that, your friend gets all of it. So it seems like the leveling system is mainly for what you can upgrade. You can see right here, available at level 15, so it's locked at the moment. So I'm curious if that's going to mean certain missions are kind of locked off because you need a certain upgrade to then complete the mission. I wonder if they're going to do it in that way. All right, no, this is everyone's favorite part. You have to be able to customize. Seems like we might have a good bit. I'm kind of curious because the light, it says you have 2 out of 15. It's kind of a bummer you don't get to change, your arms, your gloves, your boots, or anything like that. It's kind of just like the armor set and then the helmet. You get 2 out of 15. They already unlocked 7 out of 43. So the medium, they have a lot more than the light. I wonder how many they have of the heavy. I wonder if that's going to dictate playstyles as well. You can see the armor passes here that give different capacities. It's gonna change. But then here on the helmets don't really offer passives. So with that, I wonder if the cape's gonna be the same way. So are these more of the cosmetic where it's like you can pick whatever helmet you want and it's gonna do pretty much the same thing. Also, I hope they have a lot more helmets because like a lot of these helmets, these 4 helmets right here are all the same helmet, just slightly different color schemes. So I hope they either add more or they have more options because customization is gonna be huge in this game, and that's gonna be a big indicator of like progression. Is what can you unlock? How can you make yourself look different from the pack? You know what I mean? So you kind of get the answer right here of how many armor it looks like. They have, I'm guessing this means they have unlocked 11 out of 71. The light had 15 total. The medium had 43. So that already puts you at 58. So the remainder is about 23 for heavy. That's a good bit. Helmets, 93 helmets. That's a good bit of helmets. But I'm worried about this a little bit just because they have a lot of variety of the helmets. Like I'd rather have you have the helmet and you can pick what design you want on that helmet. But it seems like they're gonna have 4 helmets can be the same helmet, just one has a color slash, one doesn't. A little bit of a bummer, but we'll see how it works. Maybe it all works in game, you know what I mean? Cape, same way, 5 out of 46. A lot of different capes. Hopefully they vary in length. It's kind of funny to have like a super short cape. But I hope you can also just have no cape at all. Now here we have some of the breakdowns. So they have 5 assault rifles, which at first glance seems like it's kind of low, but I mean, most assault rifles do the same thing. You have an automatic, a semi, and then that's pretty much it, a burst fire probably. And those are they all kind of shoot the same after that. These have the weapon traits as a light piercing. This looks like a 1, so maybe they have upgraded versions of light armor penetration. They have 4 marksman rifles, only 2 submachine guns. That's pretty low for submachine guns. 9 shotguns though.
You get medals from doing operations.
One of the major orders had this emblem on it, so those emblems are medals. These medals right here from major orders that you can also obtain. These are things that you're going to use to then go and get more upgrades, purchasing different armors, guns, anything like that in the armory. That's how you obtain those, is through these medals. It's not going to be through standard currency maybe. Oh, I wonder to what extent. I know in the original Helldivers you can pick up people. This looks like an instant death, so I wonder if there's going to be revives. Or is, because the fade out seemed like it could have been death. But I'm curious if there are going to be revives back in this game. If it's, obviously, if you're not blown to bits. At first I thought this could have been a tactical gear or grenade, but not at all. It seems like this is going to be a pod that you can call down and put out. But I am curious because this guy has a little one around him. So I wonder if that's an armor passive or what. This guy over here has a riot shield. I love that. Riot shield pistol. So riot shield's in the game. That's a good confirmation right there.
Or maybe, if it's the right time in the story, seeing a negative consequence and giving you an added challenge.
That's a big one. I wonder if you're going to be... So I wonder what's the point of these. Like if you pick the medium difficulty or the easy difficulty and you get this effect, I wonder what do I get from completing it when I didn't even want the added challenge, you know what I mean? This is kind of big right here. You get 6 clips and now it goes down to 3. What's the upside of me overcoming that challenge? You know what I mean? Gotta be faster. So once again, February 8th, man, we're almost there. Couple of weeks. I really love the passion that this development team is showing. I think it just makes me trust that they're going to deliver a very good and unique product. So, but let me know what you guys think of Helldivers 2. Let me know if you guys are going to pre-order, if you're going to play it. Let me know what you are most excited about. Or if it's not this game, what games are you excited about? All that, put in the comments. I'll be there replying. As always, stay easy and stay breezy. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.